Hey guys, what's going on? It's Rekt Capital and welcome back to the channel. Let's dive right into this video about whether or not Bitcoin has confirmed a return into the bull market. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future and let's dive right in. So now we're just holding this demand zone here for Bitcoin and we're seeing a higher low form at the 21-week EMA. Right over here. And the 21-week EMA is a fantastic, valuable, time-tested indicator of bull market momentum for Bitcoin. And whenever we lose it, we tend to enter a bear market, but only once we break down from it and then turn it into a resistance. But in this case, you're seeing that this was a fantastic retest attempt, and we've now revisited it again for yet another retest attempt, which is successful at the moment because yes, we're also seeing a higher low. So I just want to focus on what has happened in the past for these tests of the 21-week EMA. A really great indicator for bullside momentum. So in the past, in a confirmed bear market, we've lost it as a support, broken back above it, then tested it, but lost it again, turned it into a resistance, and then a resistance again, broke back above it, lost it as support, and then broke above it. And ultimately, a bull market is characterized by just holding above this 21-week EMA consistently, as we've seen in 2017. And of course, in the post-2017 era, in this bear market, we've also seen zigzagging throughout this EMA, ultimately resulting in this EMA just figuring as a resistance and then rejecting price. But every time we make it above this 21-week EMA and clear above it, we've seen some nice upside. But even in macro reaccumulation areas, we tend to see zigzagging once again. But once we've had that March 2020 sell-off, we've been able to reclaim this 21-week EMA as a support, and we saw a fantastic uptrend. But in the moments where we've seen great crashes, for instance here, a crash zigzagging, right? So after that initial uptrend, a crash, the most important thing is to claim the 21-week EMA as a support, like we saw in these orange boxes, because that's what prolongs the uptrend. And even in 2013, you saw a crash beneath the 21-week EMA, but ultimately in the orange box, successfully turning it into a new support, which led to new all-time highs. So right over here, you see a crash below the EMA, but ultimately turning it back into a new support is what's needed for further upside. So here, crash below the EMA, but here we broke back above it and then turned it into a support on the pullback. And the same thing here, we broke below this EMA, broke above it, and then pulled back into it as a support test, So what we're seeing right now is interesting because yes, we lost it, but then we broke back above it and now we're pulling back into it to turn it into a new support, and it's holding as a support really nicely. And that's quite interesting because this is what we also saw in 2013 in the mid-cycle correction, which is very similar to what we're seeing right now. But we also saw that over here where we lost it in a new uptrend, but then regained it as a support later on. So looking back on time, it's really important for this current retest of the 21-week EMA to amount to something, because now that we've broken back above it, like right now, we've broken back above this 21-week EMA. If we can't hold this retest and break below it, that would be quite alarming, especially if we see a retest of this EMA as a resistance to just reject price to lower levels. So really important that we don't end up with a scenario where we've just broken back above the 21-week EMA and lost it as a support, and then broke back above it but lost it as a support, making lower highs consistently in the process. So is Bitcoin back in a bull market? At the moment, it's showing signs that it might be very well the case, because we've broken back above this 21-week EMA and we've pulled back into it, holding it as a support. So that's the most important thing that it needs to continue to do. Hold the 21-week EMA as a support. And like I mentioned earlier on in the video, we're already seeing a higher low, and that's really positive because this higher low is also occurring just below a major demand zone that Bitcoin hasn't actually lost. It's still holding this demand zone as a support. And the interesting thing here is that if we continue to hold this major demand zone as a support, we continue to hold this higher low on the 21-week EMA, then that's going to be a very positive bull side signal for us that this resistance is actually weakening and not really strong in the sell side pressure. And it will just have this crash, meaning that we're flushing sellers out at this psychological region of 50,000, and that would enable a nice recovery towards this resistance once again, and it should be easier to break past this resistance should that recovery happen. And at the moment the signs are looking quite positive with this higher low against the 21-week EMA, with this demand zone holding continuously, consistently. That's a good sign. Holding the 21-week EMA is integral to this bull market continuing, and at the moment, so far so good. Let's see how things continue to proceed. Time will tell, but at the moment, time has spoken. So far so good. In any case, guys, thank you so much for watching today. Subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future, and of course, like this video if you'd like to see more content like this going forward. I'm Rekt Capital, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Speak to you soon.